for the next award, the Rabbi Morton Pomerantz Award, is going to be awarded to, it was very fortuitous that we had invited Congressman Chris Gibson from upstate New York. The same day that he accepted, Catherine gave me a call and said, oh, I have an idea who we should award the Rabbi Pomerantz Veteran of the Year Award, and that's Chris Gibson. I said, well, how did you know? Somehow we're all on the same page. We think alike. He's a decorated war hero, and I'd like to call up Phil Pomerantz, who is a good friend of the rabbis, to start off this award ceremony of the Rabbi Pomerantz Veteran of the Year Award. Phil Pomerantz, former U.S. Army captain.
Needless to say, I'm not Phil Pomerantz, so I should try and emulate the rabbi. Four thoughts come to mind about the rabbi. Not only was he a rabbi, he was a terrific musician, a patriot, and a friend. The rabbi used to tell stories about how when Pope Benedict was a cardinal, he came to New York, and the rabbi was invited to meet him. And the rabbi said, the conversation started between the two of us in English, but it ended in German, which is something I never knew the rabbi knew. So he made a friend out of Pope Benedict. He was a terrific musician. He went to college at the University of Cincinnati, where he was a contemporary of Oscar Robertson. And he took his name, Mort Pomerantz, and changed it around. He had a band he called Tom Parker's Band, and he would go across the river to Kentucky and have gigs, and it was quite a thriving band that helped him get through University of Cincinnati. He was a patriot. He would go every summer to Columbus, Ohio to meet with his cousin, and I would take him to Penn Station, and he would be wearing a sweatshirt in big letters, red, white, and blue, said, God bless America. And he took that train all the way to Cleveland, and everybody got the message. The one thing he really especially was a friend. And I'm happy to introduce his very best friend, Jerry Slater, who is the portrait artist who painted that portrait over there. And this is Jerry Slater from Good Life. Thank you.
Okay, Mort Pomerantz. When I did that painting of him, I showed it to him and I said to him, Mort, do you think I captured your sly smile? And he looked at me and said, what sly smile? As he gave me the sly smile. I knew Mort, I would say almost 40 years. And he was a remarkable man. He was in the Navy during the second half of the 60s. He was a chaplain, a Navy chaplain, a Marine Corps chaplain. When he got out, he worked, he had a congregation, I believe, and then he worked for the state, servicing the mentally challenged. And a remarkable man, remarkable man. He was in the Navy League, he was the chaplain of the Navy League, he was the chaplain of the Lions Club. Every organization you can think of, Mort was involved. And he was a remarkable raconteur. Told stories better than I think anyone I'd ever met. And he was a funny guy. He was part of our family. He came to my house for Thanksgiving, 4th of July, all of the events that you can name. He played the piano at our house at Christmas time. sang Christmas carols, and we would sit into the night talking and arguing, of course. But I still can't believe he's gone. He's not with us. The last few weeks of his life, he had trouble walking, and we called, Phil and I called the EMS guys to come check him out. And when they came in, they did the usual examination, and part of that was the questions that they ask you. What's your name? And he told them his name, Morton Pomerantz. They asked him what year it was. He said 2014. They asked him who the President of the United States was, and he said, unfortunately, Barack Obama. We knew he was all right. And I used to help him out with things. When it snowed, obviously he needed help. He was slightly overweight, as you can tell from the painting there, and I slimmed him down a bit. But one time it had snowed, and he called me up and asked me to help him dig out his car, which meant come dig out my car. So I grabbed my son, and we grabbed a couple of shovels, and we made our way down to his apartment, which was only a few blocks away. And when we rounded the corner, there was Mort's car sitting right out in front of his house. No snow around it at all. So I went upstairs and I asked him, Mort, did you even look out the window? And he said, no. And that was Mort. That was the man. The best thing I can say about Mort is the biggest compliment I think you can pay to anybody. He loved mankind, yes, even Democrats, and he was involved. And he would be absolutely thrilled to have this award named for him. And I'm just glad that I can be here in his stead, and I wish he could be here. Unfortunately, we will all miss him. Left a big hole in our lives. And the first award, it's my honor to give the first award to Congressman Chris Gibson. Yeah, he's had a remarkable life. Let's see, I've got some notes here. He retired from the Army after 24 years in service, rising to the rank of colonel. He deployed 7 times, including 4 combat missions in Iraq, and 4 separate deployments to Kosovo and the southwestern United States for a counter-drug operation. Let's see. Most recently, he commanded the 82nd Airborne Division 2nd Brigade Combat Team in Haiti during the opening months of the humanitarian relief operation. In 2010, Chris returned to his hometown of Kindle, and he was elected to represent the 20th Congressional District there. And then he was re-elected in 2012 and 2014 to represent the 19th. Is that right? You got it. 19th? Okay. Currently, he serves in the House Armed Services, the Agriculture, and the Small Business Committees. During his military service, among many awards, he got 2 Legion of Merits, 4 Bronze Stars, a Purple Heart, the Combat Infantryman's Badge with Star. For their actions in Mosul and support of the election in New Iraq, his battalion task force earned a Valorous Unit Award. For their actions in Tal Afar during the 2nd and 3rd national elections in Iraq, his battalion and 3rd Armored Cavalry Regiment were recognized by the President for excellence and earned a 2nd Valorous Unit Award. Chris has been married to his wife, Mary Jo, for 18 years, and they have 3 children, which I'm sure they're very proud of him. He looks much too young to have done all this, but we'll take his word for it. And it's my honor to give him this award for the Morton Pomerantz Veteran of the Year Award.
Thank you. start by saying, too young. There are days I feel like 109, so I appreciate that. And, you know, Queens Village Republican Club, this is a great showing here tonight. Very inspiring to see this assemblage. And, you know, Alan West is a friend of mine. We served together in the United States Army, and we served in the U.S. Congress. He told me about this club and how warmly you received him, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here firsthand and to witness this. And, you know, quite frankly, as a long-suffering New York Mets fan, since ever I've been conscious, I feel like I'm in an okay place here to be in Queens. Yeah, you're darn straight. Listen, you know, getting this award really means a lot because of the way the rabbi lived his life. You know, this is a guy who really led by example in everything he did, a veteran himself, and then dedicated himself to helping veterans. And so, you know, with that spirit in mind, I will tell you that this is the fight that I'm bringing to the U.S. Congress right now. You know, the reform that we enacted last year, a sweeping reform of the VA to give more local use for doctors. We just recently enacted with the President's signature a bill that's going to help with mental health, suicide awareness and prevention. And, you know, I heard the last speaker, of course, talking about housing for veterans, how important that is. And we're working with Soldier On, a great not-for-profit, to actually expand out in the Hudson Valley to help homeless veterans. And we're working that. And thank you very much for that. And look, I've got a bill that we're working to bring justice for our veterans who've been exposed to Agent Orange in Vietnam and haven't gotten that kind of coverage. We're working that. And I will also tell you, transition. When you talk about transition, our office takes this very seriously. I have all kinds of volunteers that reach out because this is really the key thing. When folks come back home and they get back in the community, we've got all kinds of programs to help them, and we need to get the veterans into the programs. Only a third of the veterans who come home even sign up for these veterans benefits. We've got to do better than that, and so our office is taking that on. And so I feel like we're, you know, the rabbi lives on through that by working for veterans. And, you know, the other piece that the rabbi, certainly it was a passion for him, was bringing together folks to get things done for our country, and certainly a rallying person and a leader for our party. And I just want to say that, you know, I had put forward term limits for me since the day I left the Army. I'm going to fulfill those now. This will be the end of 6 years. I'm a big believer in not having a permanent political class. It's important to have citizen legislators, you know, and I'll tell you that. I'm going all around the state right now, you know, in addition to being the best servant I can be for my congressional district, the other thing I'm looking to do is rally our party. You know, we just came through in November, we did not win, we had a strong candidate, yet we weren't able to prevail. And I will tell you this much, ladies and gentlemen, I firmly believe we can win in 2018, you know, absolutely. And you look at, you know, Green Bay Packer coach Vince Lombardi, he said, you know, many Americans have the will to win, but fewer have the will to prepare to win. And see, that's the most important part there. And so part of what I'm doing right now is moving around the state. I was in Buffalo last week, in the North Country a couple days ago, is going around and looking to rally folks because our team, we've got to prepare. And that means voter registration, reaching out to voters. Because one thing I will tell you I'm sensing all throughout this state is that voters, regardless of what party they're in, are coming to the realization that tax, borrow, and spend and control are two principles that are not working. They're not providing the solutions to the problems of our time. This is a party with the ideas of empowerment, of freedom, opportunity, and responsibility, strong national security, based on bedrock principle of peace through strength. These are our ideas. We've got to work harder to reach out and to connect and to bring people to us. And I believe that we will do this. And last thing I want to say is this. I want to recognize excellence. You know, because I know that Queens, and you know, Eric mentioned this moments ago, is coming through a period where they're coming together. In so many ways, you know, Queens represents in what our entire state needs to be doing, is coming together for the purpose of competing and winning and then translating that into effective governance. And so what's going on in Queens, I want to recognize. This is a military tradition. This is a coin that I present to Jim and to Phil and also to Chairman Turner for the excellence, for stepping forward to rallying Queens to bring us on to victory. So thank you very much, everybody.